We got a 24 Chevy Convert, got an 8-speed, got another pump bolt leak. So we're going to be taking the transmission assembly out, doing the same thing we just did to that Equinox. Alright, we got the battery tray out, airbox 2 out, and I took some brackets off so that I could put my engine support brackets on. I've never tried to hang it that way, so we'll see how that goes. Got my cow out of the way. On this one's a lot more work. On these, this is a 4-cylinder Traverse. I gotta get this airbox and this catalytic converter out of the way for down there in the future. So after we get all that out, then I can put my engine support across. Alright, was getting, I got the O2 and shield off, and I was getting these converter nuts off, and that stud, that top one snapped. That bottom one, the threads, either on the nut or the stud stripped out, so I had to fight that, and I eventually got the nut off so I can keep going. But yeah, so we're gonna get this other shield off and probably drop the subframe. I'll have to see. I don't remember if you can get this converter out without dropping the subframe, so we'll see. Alright, I went ahead and got the wheel wells out of the way. Got my fucking sensor unplugged, my speed sensor. So it does look like I'm gonna have to take the subframe out to get the cat out. I mean, it's pretty fucking big cat, so gonna have to get all that out. This is all-wheel drive, so we're gonna, just like the Equinox, gonna have to take all this apart just to get the subframe out. So we're gonna start working on that. We got our exhaust and our propeller shaft out. So I'm about to go put the engine support up so I can get the subframe out, to get the cat out. I might end up having to take the whole bumper off because the starter's up here in the front. I mean, it's like right, I can't even really see it, but let's see if I can get my flashlight up there and make it a little more visible. Not really. Anyway, it's up in there. I'm probably gonna have to take the bumper off. I probably could do it without doing that, but it would suck. So I'd rather just take the bumper off. It's not even that big of a deal. Alright, I got the bumper off. I was also blocking one of my subframe, some of my subframe bolts, so I got the subframe out. Got our giant ass trigger out. So I'm not gonna be taking the radiator or anything out for this starter. I was just gonna. SI said to take the water pump assembly out, and then you can get to the starter. So I'm gonna do it that way. Save a little time. Some of these like mounts, I gotta get the transfer or the PTU out. So we still got a little ways to go, but we're making progress. Alright, so I got the transfer case out. I took the water pump out, which did give me enough clearance to get that starter. And got my 4 converter bolts out, so we just got to get the rest of the bell housing bolts and the assemblies coming down. Alright, we got the trans assembly out. We're going to go ahead and see how many of these bolts are loose. Alright, so we had 3 of 19 that were only hand tight, so we're gonna go ahead and get all these out and replaced, torque the spec, put a new turbine shaft O-ring on, and a new torque converter seal. Alright, so the 2 studs that were messed up from before, I torched them and tried to use a stud removing tool. Both of them snapped, so I'm gonna drill these out and hopefully I can use one of those stud removing sockets or bits to get it out. If that's not gonna work, then I'll just drill the whole thing out and then rethread it. So we'll see where this goes. Alright, so drilling these out failed miserably. I can't get any deeper than that. I broke 2 of my snap-on bits. I think they're just so, you know, they heat up and, you know, cool down, heat up, cool down. I think they just got too hardened. So we're gonna end up, this thing's under warranty, we're gonna end up putting a turbo in it and just getting on with it, because I've already spent way too much time with it. So we got our old turbo out, about to transfer the parts to the new one, and then we're just waiting on the heat shield gasket for the turbo. That'll be here tomorrow, so once we get that, we'll get the turbo back in, and then I can start getting all this crap together. I waited to put the trans in just so I had as much room as possible to get this out. Alright, got our new turbo in. Finally. Got the turbo nuts torqued down the spec. All my coolant and oil feed and return lines torqued the specs, and now we can move back to doing the transmission and start getting that assembly back in. Alright, got our transmission assembly back in. Working our way back. It's coming together. Alright, we got some progress. Got our starter water pump back in. Got the transfer case back in, converter back in. So we're honestly getting pretty close. Gotta throw the subframe in and just get all this miscellaneous stuff back. The only thing we got left on this thing is put that undershield on. Do that later. I'm filling up the coolant, got my trans fluid in. So we're getting it, pretty much everything's together. So gonna run it, bleed the coolant, get it up to temp for the trans fluid level check. We're gonna do a couple relearns since we had to replace that turbo. I think there's like 2 relearns I gotta do. So and then clear all the codes from anything that was disconnected. I mean, I had the battery disconnected, but that don't always get rid of everything. So, you know, this thing's pretty much done. Alright, got this thing running. So we're about to give her a test drive and should be good to go.